This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined with a bit of a dynamic duo, Spencer Oliver, Razor Ali. How are we both?
Yeah, we're both really well, mate. I'm really well. Razor's good now. The weigh-in's done. The sun's shining. Big night tomorrow night at the Bournemouth Football Stadium. 15,000 people in the Vitality Stadium is going to be absolutely insane. And Razor gets a chance to showcase his skills. You know, the weigh-in's done. That's the worst part of these fight weeks, isn't it? Just making that weight. When the weight's done, showtime, baby. He's worked hard, man. So he's confident. He's left no stone unturned. He's confident in his own ability, and it's going to be a good night.
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. Tomorrow is a big night. I appreciate the opportunities. My first fight being such a huge stage, you know, stadium fight. I got my man next to me, and as he said, the fun is the fight, you know. Like, I love the dance. I did everything else. I work hard. Now it's showtime, you know.
Just sort of start off. You're spotting some nice sort of green and yellow, very matching the Brazilian colours. What's the sort of motive behind that?
My guy's from Brazil, you know, so I got these sneakers to step on him for tomorrow, you know. Yeah. That's how we roll, baby.
Definitely. Well, Spencer, I just wanted to say, go back from, you know, where it all started, your story with Razor. How did this sort of come about, and when did you sort of first know of Razor's abilities?
So I've known Razor for a few years now, but I first caught my eye in our gym, and maybe 18 months ago or so. I started watching him, maybe even 2 years ago now, actually. I'm watching him and his trainer, Kieran Duffy, who's a great trainer, by the way, ex-fighter himself. And I'm watching him and train Razor in the gym, training, and I'm thinking, this kid's got something about him. He trains hard, man. I'm old school. Like, I'm the first one in the gym, last one to leave. I was known for my fitness, my work rate, and that's what gets you where you need to go to. And I'm watching Razor, I'm thinking, wow, man, he's got a few of my traits there. Like, this guy is, you know, he's a grafter, and he's putting it together, but actually I'm seeing the improvement and all that. And I knew that he was boxing under Wasserman at the time, and he was boxing on these shows, but not really going anywhere, not really, like, he was a little bit stop-start and whatnot. Then he'd come out of contracts. Didn't know Razor's story at this point. I just knew him as a nice kid and a grafter, and I like Kieran as well, and he's a great trainer. And I thought, yeah, I'd like to do something with him. I'm not into the managing fighters and all that, but I thought I'd like to look after him because I think I could direct him somewhere. So Razor, we had that conversation. I said, I think I can get you a deal with Boxer and all that because of your story. And his story is the most inspirational fucking story of any human being, let alone boxer, in the world, mate. Like, honestly, what he's been through to get on this journey to get to where he's got to is absolutely insane. You know, going back from when he was a young child in Iran, we all know the problems that are out there and everything else. And Razor, was in a tragic car crash with his brothers and sisters, 7 of them that all burnt alive, and he was the only survivor. And you think, fuck, that would break anyone. That would break anyone, mate. And then he come over to this country, travelled the journey, you know what I mean, on his own as a young kid to better his life for his mother, who's over there, and he come over here, and he wasn't even boxing then, was you?
No, I never.
He wasn't even boxing, and he got here, he's sleeping on the fucking streets, right? And he's just happy to be in England, and he's here, sleeping on the streets. Someone took him to the boxing club, was it West Ham or?
West Ham.
West Ham.
Yeah.
Someone took him to West Ham Boxing Club, and he found a hidden talent in boxing. And here we are now, we fast forward 6 years and he's having his 8th professional fight. I mean, the story is insane. I've just skimmed over it there because it's a really powerful story. And you can only tell that story when he's not in his fight week. I want him to sit down and tell that because he's got to focus on other things right now. But the story is so fucking incredible. And when I found out that, I went, this kid's got the mental strength to become a champion, because you need that, the mental strength. People are born with that, but I think, wow, how he's overcome that. For me, I just go like, this kid, I gravitated towards him straight away. He's got a very addictive personality where you gravitate towards him. He's just a lovely guy. But then when I heard the backstory as well, and I was just like, wow, man, I want to help him. I want to help him on his journey, and I can direct him and do that. I spoke to Ben Shalom. We had a good conversation. Ben saw him and said, you know what, I like him. I said, well, you like him? He listened to his backstory. I went, mate, you can market him, package him, and he will deliver the goods. And here we are, man. We got the opportunity.
And when you think about these things, away from boxing, you put boxing to the side for a second. How much of an inspiration can Razor be to so many people who just to never ever give up to what you do, and you can achieve anything no matter what adversity you face in your life?
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because Anthony Joshua comes to mind when you think about his journey, where he come from and where he was, and he inspired millions of kids up down the country and all that. His story's insane, mate. It's off the scale, and that will inspire anybody, give anybody hope. So you can go through what Razor's come through and then turn his life around and become what he is today. If he give up boxing tomorrow, I'll be proud of what he's achieved. You just go, that's fucking amazing what you've achieved. And this journey's still, we're at the beginning of it. There's still so many layers to go, but that should inspire millions of kids up and down, millions of kids, not up and down in the country, but globally. And the Iranian people are already behind him. Iranian TV ringing me up. Oh, when's Razor boxing again? Because they come to the last fight. All the troubles that are going on over there, and they want to support him because he supports the people of Iran, and that is fucking important. And he's going to become a superstar. In the Middle East, he's already getting really, really well known. But once they know about him here and they follow his journey and know his story, and the kids will just be inspired, you go, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you do, what walk of life you're taking right now, you can change it. Just follow him, man, and that's why I'm invested in it.
And when you hear things like that, Razor, where you hear Spencer talk about things like that, and you hear about Iranian TV being interested in you, everyone being interested in you, how much you can inspire so many people, having that responsibility, how special is that for you?
It feels good, but honestly, I'm just trying to be me. Under pressure,
But that's what it is, though. You
Yes.
being you
Yes.
inspires people. You're not trying to inspire. This is not fake, right? Razor's being Razor, but he doesn't tell anyone his story. He doesn't tell anyone. He don't even like talking about it, and you can understand why he doesn't like talking about it. But I go, that story needs to be told, because that's going to fucking inspire people, mate. And he's just him. Right, and that's what it is. He's just a down-to-earth, genuine, nice guy that doesn't see himself any different to anyone else. But he fucking is different. He is different, and hugely different. And that's what's important, man. And once we get that story over, that's going to inspire millions of kids. Just give millions of kids hope. You know what I mean? It don't even have to be kids. It can be anyone, any walk of life. You go, listen, if he can come through what he's come through, you can come through it as well.
Honestly, do you know what? Because lately I get a lot of messages from people Iranian, or mainly Iranian and others, oh, please help us. I'm like, do you know what? I must be a champion. That was my only option, to be a champion, but I must be a champion now, because a lot of people are looking up to me, and I'm the hope. They say, if Razor made it, we can make it too. I haven't made it yet, though. I don't have those straps. I'm gonna get them when the time is right. But I want to help these young kids, people from my country, and so I feel their responsibility. If I'm the leader now, they don't have. It's never been any Iranian to be in this stage. I'm the only one. I'm the first one, So I got that responsibility. But it's not pressure. I'm enjoying it, why would I be in pressure?
Champions feed off pressure. That's the truth
that's
of it.
easy,
Champions
yeah.
feed off pressure. Pressure brings the best out in some fighters. Some fighters that feel that, that pressure brings out the best in them. It done it to me. Some fighters get pressure, they walk out, they see the bright lights, and they freeze. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference between champions and challengers. He's a champion.
That's why I think I'm the survivor. I think God knew I can handle this easy.
Absolutely, man. You're gonna better your life for your mum. You're gonna better your life for you. But more importantly, you're gonna better your life for the fucking Iranian people that are out there as well, because he's got a massive following there.
And you talked about sort of the adversity you've been through. I know it's difficult for you to talk about, but how much has that built you? Not even as a boxer, but as an individual in yourself. Sitting here, being where you are today. How much has that built you as the person that you are today?
Absolutely, who I am today is just because of what I went through. I always said to myself, I'm a man of faith and I'm a man of hope. I never lost my faith. I've never lost my hope, because every time I was totally broken to pieces, that's the voice in my head. I was telling myself there is a better tomorrow. Wake up, stop crying, stop being broken. Just to stand up and take another step, So I never lost hope.
He's not even getting that advice from someone. That's like that's something a counsellor would tell you. It's he's telling himself that. He's building himself as an individual. Do you know how that, listen, this boxing game is 20% physical and 80% mental. When you get into those late rounds, mate, it's all about fucking who wants it most, who can bite on their gum shield the most, because you're both as fit as each other. But when you get into those dog fights where you go, I'm going to go there, you start talking to yourself in the rounds, going, fuck, he's hit me with 2, I'll hit him with 3. If I'm tired, he's got to be tired. You know, he's got that built in him. I've not got to train him with that. I've not got to teach him that. That's something that I had as an individual as well when I was fighting, but I don't have to pass that knowledge on. I've just got to direct his career and just watch where he's going. Everything else. He's got this mental strength, man, that's what I believe will take him to the top, because that is ultimately what it's all about.
And in boxing, there's a lot of sort of, there can be a lot of negativity at times. There can be a lot of, people complaining. But when you hear stories like this, Spencer, and you hear, incredible stories, this just shows the positive side of boxing and what it can do for people.
Absolutely. Boxing changes lives, man. It doesn't matter at what level it is, whether they don't even box or whatever. You walk into boxing gyms and it teaches people the life skills that you need in life to, the respect to respect others. Do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? To open the door for people. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And those basic life skills take you on a journey and put you in the right place in life. But also it gives kids opportunity and hope. People like Razor, where you go, actually, I'm quite good at this. And what would he be doing if he wasn't boxing now? Where would he be if he didn't make that journey from Iran to England? What would he still be here? Would he still be alive? Because that is the reality of it. Do you know what I'm saying? He's here for a reason. He's here for his mother. He's here to change the fucking future of the Iranian people, to give the Iranian people hope. That is a powerful story, man. That's not bigging it up or trying to sell it any way that it shouldn't be. That is the reality of it. That's the truth of it. That's why I'm invested in him. Not just because he's a lovely guy, because he is, but his story, mate, I just go, he's a man of the people, and people look up to him already. He's had 7 fights. What happens when he is known, when he is champion? Because that will happen.
Well, boys, I'll say this has been it's been an incredible interview, to be honest. That story.
I am. See, mate, you need to go and have a lie down. I can see it.
Honestly, it's incredible to sort of hear. I've sort of touched on your story before a little bit, Razor, but not in sort of the context, the depth that we went in today. It's definitely a lot sort of we can take from today and from this interview. So, I just want to thank you two for sort of coming on. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.